Hello and welcome to our latest Fellside midweek reflection. I've got a Bible reading for us from Matthew's Gospel and then a short reflection. So the reading is from Matthew's Gospel and it's chapter 6 and it's beginning at verse 5. Jesus talking about prayer. And whenever you pray, do not be like the hypocrites, for they love to stand and pray in the synagogues and at the street corners, so that they may be seen by others. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward. But whenever you pray, go into your room and shut the door, and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. When you are praying, do not heap up empty phrases as the Gentiles do, for they think that they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask him. Pray then in this way: Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come. Your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And do not bring us to the time of trial, but rescue us from the evil one. For if you forgive others their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you. But if you do not forgive others, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. And the man sits by himself at a table for two in the restaurant, and the waiter appears at his side. Would you like to go ahead and order? He asks, because after all, the man has been waiting since 7 o'clock, and that's almost half an hour now. No, thank you, says the man with a smile. I'll wait for a while longer. How about some more coffee? Certainly, replies the waiter. And the man sits, and it's as though his eyes are gazing straight through the flowered centerpiece on the table. He begins to mess with his napkin. He allows the sounds of the light chatter, the tinkling silverware, and the mellow music in the restaurant to fill his mind. He's dressed very smartly. He gives off a clean cut and a very welcoming image. And you get the sense that he wants his companion to feel important, respected, loved. And yet he's not so formal as to make you feel uncomfortable. So having taken every precaution to make others feel at ease with him, still he sits alone. The waiter returns with another cup of coffee. Is there anything else that I can get for you? No thanks, the man replies. And the waiter remains standing at his table, something kind of tugging at his curiosity. I don't mean to pry, but, and his voice trails off. And this line of conversation could actually jeopardize his tip, if not indeed his job. Go ahead, the man encourages. His voice is strong yet sensitive, inviting conversation. And the waiter finally asks, why do you bother waiting for her? Because this man has been at the restaurant other evenings, always alone, always patient. And he replies to the waiter, because she needs me. Are you sure? Yes. Well, sir, he says, no offence, but assuming that she needs you, she sure isn't acting much like it, is she? She stood you up 3 times just this week. And the man winces and he looks down. And he says, yes, I know. Then why do you still come here and wait? Well, she said she'd be here. And she said that before, the waiter says. I wouldn't put up with it. Why do you? And now the man looks up at the waiter with a smile. Because I love her. And the waiter walks away wondering how he could love a girl who stands him up 3 times a week. And he decides the man must be crazy. From across the room he turns to look again at the man who is pouring milk into his coffee. And he kind of twirls the spoon between his fingers. And a few times he does that before putting some sugar into his cup. And after stirring for a moment at the coffee, he begins to drink it and silently watching those around him. And the waiter thinks to himself, well, he doesn't look crazy. Maybe this girl has got qualities that I don't know about. Or maybe the love of this man is stronger than most. So, pulling himself out of his thoughts, the waiter moves on to take an order from another table. And the man is sitting there with his coffee, and he recalls the many things that he'd wanted to talk over with this girl. But really, he was looking forward to hearing her voice, telling him about her day, what she's done, the things she didn't manage to get round to. Anything really, as long as she just talks to him. Yes, she stood him up before, but he still can't get used to it. And each time it hurts. He's been looking forward all day to this evening, 7 o'clock, the appointed time. And he's tried so many times to show this girl that he loves her. And he'd like to know that she cares for him too. He hopes that she will yet arrive. And the clock says 9:30 when the waiter returns to the man's table, still with one empty chair. Anything I can get for you? No, I think I'll be all right for tonight. I'll have the bill, please. Yes, sir, says the waiter. And when he leaves, the man picks up the bill. He pulls out his wallet. He has enough money in there to have given this girl an absolute feast. But he takes out only enough to pay for the 5 cups of coffee he's had while he's waiting, and enough for a tip as well. Why do you do this? His mind cries as he gets up from the table. Goodbye, says the waiter, as the man walks towards the door. Good night, and thank you for your service. You're very welcome, sir, says the waiter softly, for he sees the hurt in the man's eyes, a hurt that his smile just cannot hide. And the man passes a laughing young couple on his way out, and his eyes glisten as he thinks of the good time he and the girl could have had. He stops at the front desk and he makes reservations for tomorrow evening. Maybe, he thinks, she'll be able to make it this time. 7 o'clock tomorrow for a party of 2, says the lady on the front desk. That's right, the man replies. And the lady can't help it. Do you think she'll come in, she says. And she doesn't mean to be rude, but she's watched this man so many times alone at his table for 2. Someday, yes, he says, and I'll be waiting for her. The man puts on his coat and he walks out of the restaurant alone, and his shoulders are hunched up, they're low, and he walks away. And through the window, the lady at the front desk can only guess whether they're hunched against the wind or against the hurt that he's feeling. And just about the time that he's driving his car out of the restaurant parking area, this girl who he's been waiting for falls into her bed. Tired after an evening out with her friends, she reaches out to set the alarm clock on the table next to the bed. "Oh no," she says aloud, when she sees the note she'd scribbled to herself the previous night. 7:00 p.m. And what did I write here next to it? Oh yes, spend some time in prayer. Well, I'll do it tomorrow night, that's for sure. Besides, she tells herself, she needed tonight with her friends, and now she needs her sleep. Tomorrow night will be fine. Jesus will forgive her. She's sure that he doesn't mind. And you know, the most important part of our daily devotions, of our daily prayer life, is simply showing up. And it doesn't matter what we say. Just take the time to spend every day with the one who loves you and waits patiently for you to come. He wants to tell you how much he loves you. And that story may strike a note with some of you as lockdown restrictions ease somewhat, and I'm recording this on the afternoon just before we're expecting a big announcement from the government about the further easing of lockdowns. But for the last week or two, those restrictions have been lifted, and perhaps as we've been allowed to meet with families again and go to different places, the shops opening again, perhaps you've forgotten your appointed prayer time. Perhaps you've been like the girl in the story. You've got into bed and you thought, oh no, I haven't spent time with the Lord today. Well, never mind, I can do it tomorrow. And if that story challenges you, if that describes you, as your time of prayer has perhaps slipped a little bit as the lockdown restrictions ease somewhat, can I please encourage you to keep that date again, your 7:00 appointment with the Lord, or your 7:00 a.m. appointment with the Lord if you happen to be an early bird, or your 8:00 a.m., or your 8 p.m., or your midnight appointment with him if you happen to be a night owl. Can I encourage you to, if you slipped away just a little bit from that prayer time in the last few days as lockdown begins to ease, as we begin to return to some kind of normality, please make time for that prayer. It is vitally important. And if you've been continuing in prayer, if you've not allowed that time to slip, then please continue to make that appointment. It is vitally important. It is the best thing that you can do. So a story that's both challenging, if we have fallen away a little bit, if we've been slipping behind on that appointment, if we've been standing Jesus up in some way, then come back and keep the appointed time. But if you have indeed been keeping that appointment, keep it going. It's the best thing that you can do. And we see from that Bible reading when Jesus tells people, go to your room and meet with the Father there in secret. So it's as though he does expect us to make time each day just to go away from others, just to be on our own with him and to share our conversation with him, just as the man in the story, who was Jesus of course, just wanted to long for us to tell us about our day, about our feelings, about our concerns. Keep on in prayer. It is vitally important. Bye for now. Until the next time.